What's up, everybody? Rick here at Bear Forex, and today is Friday, August the 14th, 2020. End of another trading week, and I'm here to update you on what I did and what happened during this week. As everybody knows now, all you few people that watch this, I've introduced the daily charts, which I'll add later on at the end of this video. So I haven't really caught up on any Forex news or anything. It's been kind of a busy morning for me on the non-trading side, so I just looked at charts and that was pretty much it. So I know retail sales came out today. I believe not as expected. I was asleep when that happened. I don't like to trade the early mornings with all that craziness. So I'm gonna try to get this out quickly. So we're just gonna run through what happened today, and I'm gonna fire up my charts here. Oh, a quick side note here. Tomorrow, Saturday, I'll be releasing another video about credit cards. Please make sure to check it out. It should be a little interesting. I'm sure everybody will get a dig out of it. Alrighty. Should be on. Check 1, check 2, check 3. Okay, so here we are on the Aussie dollar. On the weekly charts for Rwanda. Surprise, surprise, prices just sitting around getting crushed. Now this is a good sign, believe me, because this means something's going to happen soon. And for all those people who are like, oh my god, nothing ever happens. This is the life of a trader. And if you want action, then you're on the wrong channel, because I don't like to trade those little 15-minute, 5-minute, 1-minute, all that. I don't trade that stuff. Other people do. Not me. I don't like it. I like to have my free time. It gives me time to shoot these videos and do other things. It's also relatively safer and more accurate. So, I'm not saying it's wrong by any means. There's no wrong way to trade as long as you're making money. If you're making money, hey, more power to you. I myself have tried from tick charts to monthlies, and I found my sweet spot to be between the 4-hour, daily, and weekly. Okay, and that's just me. I've never said the reasons why I trade those for or how I use them. I'll probably say them another time. I don't have time today. I got a lot going on, and it's the weekend, and I'd like to get out of here. It's very warm today where I am, so I'm trying to get out of the house and go enjoy some sunshine. I'm not afraid of COVID. I'm going out anyways. Starting off again with the Aussie dollar here, we can see prices getting crushed. We had higher spikes for the last several weeks, but now those have subsided, which means that the buying pressure to the upside is failing. So where price is still holding right around the 71 mark here, right around here. This 72 and 71, this little area here. So I'm pretty confident in this, the way that this looks, that it should be coming down, bar anything crazy. You know, even if it's just a small retracement, something like this. It's not a way to get in on the weekly charts. There's no, that's not like, this is not tradable on the weekly chart, but it could still, it needs a nice retracement. So we'll just see. We'll have to wait and see. My favorite words. I know you love to hear them. We'll have to wait and see what happens with this. But this is a good sign for either long or short, but most likely to the downside, to continue its overall trend, which is down for a long time. But we'll see what happens. We shall see what happens. Like I said, I think I believe, I can look it up, but I'm not gonna. I believe that the retail didn't come out so good, which is not a surprise, ladies and gentlemen. It is not a surprise when they scare you into staying home. They close restaurants. Of course, retail sales are down. That should, in my opinion, it should already be priced into the market. So when you watch the news and they're like, oh, retail sales are down, and it's a surprise. How the hell is it a surprise? You shut down the whole world because of the flu, and then now you're saying, oh, how come there's no retail sales? Come on, people. Moving on to the Euro USD. Euro USD looks the same. There is some strength this week in the Euro USD, climbing a little bit higher than last week's high. Of course, it hasn't touched the 1900 mark, which it did. It looks like it might get back up there, which would make it 3 strikes in the same zone before coming down, which is something I'd like to see because it just keeps proving my point that those 3 strikes actually mean something. But yeah, so it's just kind of hovering in this about to me, it looks like it's about to collapse. Hopefully, it hits this 1900 mark one more time and comes back down. I'd like to see a 50% retracement. There might be a selling opportunity around the 1700 mark. We'll have to wait and see what it looks like once price gets back down there. Could be next week or the week after. It's all dependent on the news. Technically, it looks like it's going to fall, so we need some fundamentals to help push it that way. Moving on to the Great British Pound. The Great British Pound looks like it's doing exactly what I thought it was going to do. I know that this is an up candle, but as you can see, 3 spikes right here. This is exactly what I want to see. I want to see 3 spikes, and I want it to come crashing down. I'd like to see an entry point somewhere before this 29, but we'll have to, guess what? Wait and see. Again, on the tech side, this is ready to go. It's ready to fall down. We're just waiting for some fundamentals to push it. This is why price is hovering. This is everybody buying and selling, making their bets right around this area. Is it going to climb up? And if it does climb up, will it ever pass its recent high of 135? I don't know. I don't know how many people out there actually like trading the weekly charts, but I like to include everyone. So I'm just going to keep doing it because it gives you an overall view of what the market's doing, and it keeps me sharp, and because I trade it. So even if I do this for myself, it's a good idea. Moving on to the NZD USD. Price is turning, ladies and germs. Price is turning. I might actually be taking a nice position if it can clear this area right here at 165. I might take a shot. I might just do that. It doesn't look like it's going to happen this week, and probably not even next week. Bad news coming out of New Zealand. I know the other day I said that they haven't had any cases for 100 days, but when I turned on the news this morning, or turned on my TV, the first thing on there was how New Zealand went from no cases to stage 3 lockdown. So again, I just heard it in passing. But something has to be going on for a price to come down 3 solid weeks. It probably has something to do with a mix between the U.S. news and the NZD. Again, I'm not a professional trader, guys. I've said that from the beginning. I don't always pay attention to everything. I just trade what I see. And I sometimes I like to take the news into consideration. I set up a little TV here with Bloomberg going in the background all the time. So I don't know if that just makes me feel more like a pro or if it actually helps, but again, I've been doing this for a while, so maybe I just don't care about the news anymore. Bunch of talking heads, everybody with their own opinions. Nobody's ever right. Anyway, it looks like price is coming down. You got 3 lower lows and 3 lower highs. Could this be the beginning of a downtrend? Possibly. I hope so. I'd like to get into some trades on the weeklies. On the USD portfolio, I currently have nothing open. On the yen portfolio, I believe there's a few, and I'm still long on the S&P 500. Gold closed out last week because of that major spike down. I think on the weeklies I had a stop at 1960, which got hit on the 11th, I believe, when the price came crashing down. I think I hit a low of 19.4. Let's just check. Let's see what happened here. I think the low was 19.4. Yes, 19. No. Oh man, 1862. Yeah, so my stop was at 1960. So yeah, definitely it got knocked out. But anyways, yeah, so I'm hoping it really looks like it's going to come crashing down, which will be good for anybody who likes to trade the lower time frames. This may be an opportunity to get in there. Moving on to the United States versus Canada. Surprisingly, price is just still in that same area. Last week it spiked down. This week it's actually pushing down versus a spike. Price held to the downside, so USD is still losing against the Canadian dollar. Price pressure looks pretty good. I still, however, am just very risky because there has not been a pullback of any significance. So I'm a little bit hesitant. However, I will say that if price does crash through, if price does crash through this 13.2 level, I might be looking for a spike down to the last low, which would be a nice little profit there. But we'll have to wait and see what happens. Looks like price spiked against the 132, which is lower than last week, but it didn't close under it. So I'm still wary. You can see over here in February, last time price touched it, it ended up climbing higher by a lot. So I'd like to see that too. I don't care which way it goes, as long as I can get in and make some profit. Moving on to the USDCHF. Here we go. 3 strikes. Does this mean it's out? I don't know. I'd like to see a retracement. Like I said on Monday or Tuesday, I'd like to see price spike back up. Now these 3 spikes are good, but so are these 3 spikes. There's pressure in between these two. Indecision between 92 and 91. Price doesn't know where it wants to go. Now, if we zoom out a little bit, we can see the odds favor price climbing back upwards in between these two regions, 1 and 2. We can see the last time we hit these levels was way back here in May 2015. That's a long, long time. Before that, it spiked all the way down to its abysmal lows over here in January. But this is more of an anomaly. You can see here, this is the true price range between 90 and $1. So this is it. I think that's 1,000 pip range over the last 5 years. Yeah, 1,200 pip range over the last 5 years. Odds are breaking any lower than this is not that great. Odds are it will come back up. Again, I don't care which way it goes. I like to play the odds, so I, again, am USD bias to the good side. I think price will climb back up, and I'd like to see a solid break above the 92, and then I'll take a shot. We'll have to see what happens next week. USD JPY is the final for the weekly charts, and price is moving up a little bit higher. Had a good week. Whether or not I would call that an actual recovery or not is still to be seen. I'd like to see price get back up to the 108 level. I might actually take a trade, though. Maybe try to grab 100 pips. If price closes above 107 next week, we'll have to wait and see. Price hits the 107 and then came back roughly 30%. So I don't know if that's a good sign or a bad sign. You got indecision and you got an up candle. So, yeah. We'll just have to wait and see what happens on that one. This has been a little bit of a mess. Like I said, there's no real true direction. I don't really know what they're doing over there in Japan, but their numbers seem to be okay and dwindling. Their economy has always been kind of, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. I know I keep saying it over and over again, and I will continue to do so. That's all you can do. There is no way in real life to guess what's going to happen in the markets until news comes out or until it happens. And now it's time for the daily charts. And here we go with the USD dailies. Starting with the Aussie dollar. Look at this garbage. Yep, nothing's happening. Stagnant for 1, 2, 3, 4. The whole week since I talked to you guys last. Price has not done a damn thing but bounce along here. Totally untradeable unless you trade the wicked 1 minute or 5 minute charts. Which, if you do and you make some money, I am very proud of you. And I'm a little bit jealous. I don't have the patience anymore to do that. So there's nothing going on here, waiting for breaks of either side, waiting for some kind of action to happen on the Aussie dollar. However, on the Euro USD, we finally have a trade. Yes, I finally opened a trade today. I opened a trade here at 118.365. What I'm trying to do here is it's a high risk, and I I know the reason why I took it because as I said on the weekly charts, I'm looking for price to one more time spike up and hit that 1900 to test it one last time, and so that's the goal. So my price target is at 1.1900 because I think price will spike up one last time before it makes a decision on whether it's going to go up or down. I am biased to the downside on the Euro USD. I'm pro USD, as I said before, for this next cycle of trading. I put my stop at 177.10, just a little bit under the spike. Again, this is a high risk trade. I have no idea whether or not it'll work. If you remember a couple of weeks back, I tried to do the same thing with the NZD, and that trade fell apart. Luckily, it was in profit a little bit when I closed it. This one, I don't know. We'll wait and see. And I'm holding it over the weekend, which I know people are scared of. Oh my God, you never know what'll happen. Well, I've been doing this for a while, and I'm pretty much, I'm confident that it'll be fine. Price gaps under my stop after the weekend, Owanda takes care of it. They just close it out at the stop that I had. They're very good about that sort of thing. So, finally, you get to see a trade open. And this was opened today, before the video, of course. If you'd like to see them if you'd like to hear me as I do it, you can visit my Patreon page at Bear Forex to find out how. And if you want to see any of the other pairs that are covered, which there's trades open on the Aussie, on all the yen pairs, I should say, or some of the yen pairs, and I still have a long going on the S&P 500. My gold trade got stopped out, of course, so I believe everybody's got stopped out for the most part. But yeah, so if you're interested in hearing that, and as a thank you for being Patreon members, I will gladly update you before it hits YouTube. So yeah, there's a trade live going there, and then moving on to the GBP USD. This is kind of a mess. I wanted to kind of do the same thing, but there's just nothing really here for me. All these long spikes don't instill any confidence. So I'm pretty much hopeful that this is going to come to the downside. I'd like to see a 50% retracement, maybe price breaking 1.3 triple low. And maybe heading down to roughly 127 or probably more like 128, which would be a nice 200 pip hit. But guess what? We'll have to wait and see. As of right now, there's nothing going on. NZD USD, 3 strikes in the same general area. Does that mean it's out? I did today, I believe, open the NZD JPY trade to the short side. But that's a different pair. I don't know. What do you think? What does this look like to you? It looks like 1, 2, 3 times. And it also looks like it's hitting the same traffic area back here in July. Now, does that mean it's going to go up? Who knows? I don't think so. I think it's actually going to crash down more to the downside as more bad news comes out of New Zealand. So it's really being pressured right now. So I don't know. I'd like to see it crash a little bit further for that, because if it goes up to the upside, the potential on upside isn't that great. In my opinion, it's not going to go much higher than this. If you zoom out, the next previous high is right over here, and then before that, it's it's just to sit on the downtrend. I mean, look, down, 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 down. So I don't see much upside potential. I see more downside potential. In the short term, though, we could probably grab some points up to the 67 mark, but we'll see what happens there. Moving on to the US CAD. The US CAD is spiking up after bouncing right on the 132 line, and it looks like it's probably not going to survive that too much longer. That 132 line. I believe it's going to go back up. I don't really have a trade plan yet for this. So, yeah. I'll move on then. Swissy's bouncing along in this range. Still undecided on what it wants to do. Price is getting crushed. As you can see right here, it's getting smashed. It really wants to do something right around this line here. It really does. It really wants to do something at 91, but I don't think it can. It hit 90.50, and it's just having trouble. So I think it's probably looks to me like it's going to go up to the upside on the tech side. News is always an issue, so we'll have to wait and see what happens. And last but not least, on this short video, is the USD JPY. Now, I remember I said the other day on Tuesday that I thought about getting in, but I just something was telling me no because this was too high. And once you get in there, now you can see 1, 2, 3 days later, price is stagnant and price would have fell back down. So yeah, I probably would have made a little bit of a profit because I would have just closed it right here. But you know what? Honestly, I don't think I would have. When you add, let's see, we had a 50 pip move, so I would have secured at least 5, which means I would have got taken out today with 5. And after 1, 2, 3 days, 5, yeah, I probably would have made only a few dollars, but it wasn't worth the risk in my opinion. So now we got 1, 2, 3 strikes and you're out. Price would have taken me out had I taken this trade. So now we're just going to see that where it's going to go from here. It's hit the 107, exactly the 107 line 3 times in a row. Can't make it through. Now it's spiking on the 106.50 line and can't really do anything. All this is good news, however, people, because price cannot stay smashed forever. So that means that pretty soon something's going to happen. I'm going to close my charting here. All right. Thank you, everybody, for watching and listening. And tune in on Tuesday when I update on what happened over the weekend and on Monday. Don't forget Saturday, tomorrow, I will a new video releases about credit cards. That's right. Credit cards, which ones I use, why I use them, how I use them to best suit my needs, and how you can do the same thing. That releases at midnight tonight. Thanks everybody for listening. Follow me on Twitter at BearForex. Visit my Patreon at BearForex also, if you'd like to get daily and weekly updates, as well as my H4 trading, my 4-hour trading, which is the fun one where stuff happens all the time. That's exclusive to Patreon. And to my Patreon members, of which right now there are none. So if you want to be the first, feel free to visit my page. If you want, you can send me an email at bearforextrading@gmail.com. Visit my blog at bearforex.com, where I write stuff sometimes and host videos, these videos that we shoot here. So thanks again. I'm going to go and try to post this video very quickly. Have a good weekend, everybody. Peace.